Recorded live from a previously unfinished attic in downtown Monroe, this is Drawing Bigger Circles, where we dig into what's going on behind the scenes and out in the streets of our city, Monroe, North Carolina. My name is Stephen Stegall, and I'm a chairperson of Change for Monroe. We are a grassroots organization that seeks to connect neighbors to neighbors through political engagement, civic education, and a myriad of community service opportunities. And as always, I am joined by my producer, and definitely one of our two followers, Kevin Daniels.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yes. So someone told me this weekend in a combative Facebook post that you only have two followers, and I was like, yeah, and you're one of them. So thanks for the hate watch, bitch.
We'll take it.
Right. So anyway, and I will say too that we, not that this is what we're doing this for, but like other people in the let's just say within the city government have at least acknowledge that we exist. And that's a good thing. Right?
Yeah, I believe we were called interesting.
Yes. So,
which is also how one of our followers described it when I found an errant ear hair during our last one. I kept twirling it. So got the headphones on this time. We're not going to, hopefully trimmed everything up so there's no temptation to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you may catch me like picking my nose, or I mean, it's just
there was a downside when we moved to a video format.
We're manly men, and we do manly men things.
Manly men things.
Right. I mean, it's all in what you do after with it. So anyway, I'll get off.
Moving on.
Anyway, all right. Before we kind of get started with some other stuff, just a little bit of housekeeping. This is something that Change for Monroe did on a bit of a whim, just because there was a need within the community. I think it was Thrive Union was putting on a school supply drive, and so my wife and I would just spent some time and bought a bunch of book bags for whoever in the community needs them. I don't obviously kids, but whatever kid you got that needed a book bag had an opportunity to get one. We spent probably, I don't know, around $225 on that. And again, we were glad to do it. It's not that I'm, needing that money back, but if any of you want to, kind of donate to that, came out to be, we got book bags, crayons and markers and erasers and glue and all kinds of, it came out to be like 6 or 7 items in each bag. And it came out to be around like $10 a piece. So if you want to sponsor a student in Monroe, we have a donation button at our website, and all of that, again, it came out of my personal account, but I did it through Change for Monroe. And quick
thank you to the two people who already did voluntarily send some money for that. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And for the we're not really always sure who wants to be seen with us in public, so I won't mention names, but if you don't care that your name is mentioned, please feel free to let us know in the future, and we'll give a personal shout out. Yeah.
So, and that's, again, with the whole, with the spiel that I give in the very beginning, I do say like a myriad of, opportunities to give back to the community, all that other stuff like that. We are slowly trying to get the things together to be able to like really kind of give back in a more organized way. But this was just something off the cuff that we did, and just expect things like that to happen in the future. I mean, we just, again, we're just people just trying to make our community just a little bit better, and just make sure that, kids are able to kind of go to school and, hold their head up. So anyway, moving on. I have something exciting for you.
Fuck, here we go again. All right.
In this week's installment of
I was saying balloons.
So anybody who has been watching, any of the two people that have been watching us for the last little bit know that we've been kind of like struggling with technology and whatnot. And I'm telling you what, that right there, the fact that I can push that button and say,
I was saying balloons.
I was on the floor giggling and just laughing uncontrollably. My wife over in the corner with me with my headset on and laughing at like air apparently, just was looking at me funny. Well, she always does. Still, yeah. So anyway, in this week's episode of
I was saying balloons.
I'm just gonna get some play out of that. I had the opportunity. The pleasure, even.
Ooh.
Yeah. Of listening to another podcast that Burns was on.
I don't think you know what the word pleasure means.
I guess you can take pleasure from sadistic shit, right? Yeah, I mean,
there are communities.
right? Yeah. So
I think it's called S&M. I mean,
yeah,
that for me is like, are you into S&M? And I'm like, hell yeah, I love some spaghetti and meatballs. But
Fuck
I
yeah.
think that there's another part of the community that
maybe, yeah, and
it means something different.
It depends on how much leather you're wearing. But okay, what really kind of like, I don't know why I do this to myself. I've listened to many hours of Burns speak, just so you folks, good folks, don't have to. It's really like when you're kind of like in the very beginning, you're taking in all the jargon and all this other stuff. He sounds just like any other, regular Charlie Kirk-esque politician. I mean, I really do think that he, just takes a lot of his ideology from literally like Trump and Charlie Kirk for the most part. But I mean, he just sounds like those guys to me. But the one thing that I did take away from this podcast is that how he's become quite polished lately. He has that story of him in the coin toss and all that down pat. I mean, apparently he must have watched and rewatched that video of him winning that coin toss and just has it on like perfect recall right now, because like, the other host was actually like trying to like interject a little bit, and Burns made a point to say no, it didn't happen necessarily like that.
No, hold on, I have this memorized.
Right, yeah. So, but I mean, I think, and the reason I bring this up is because this guy in the very beginning when he was first coming out, and I watched these videos too, but he was like really priding himself on like not being a politician, and he was just outsider candidate. But he has really taken to being a politician here lately, and has really kind of like got himself connected and well connected.
And surprised to no one, including you, I wholeheartedly disagree.
You disagree that he's a politician?
He's a fucking politician. He has
sure. No, don't get
nothing
me wrong.
upstairs, not a unique idea. He's literally just regurgitating shit from other people, and he does it with a smile. And I brought this up the other day because I was meeting with someone, and she's one of my heroes. She doesn't listen, probably because she's too smart for this.
Yeah.
But she was one of the people who sat down with Burns and immediately was like, don't fucking play me. I know who you are. I know what you stand for.
Right.
And because you sat down with him too. And he's always like, yeah, I agree. Like he's trying to play you. He didn't play you. He didn't play her. He played a few other folks that we know very well. But the idea that, he's a fucking politician. Yeah.
No, trust me, I fully believe, or knew even then, that this was all just rhetoric.
Yeah.
I mean, because, everyone running is taking on the establishment. Literally everyone.
It's
running.
amazing.
It's like, you cannot, run as a politician and not say I'm here to, take down the status quo. But the point being is, he has. I will say that a lot of Christians have this thing called testimony, and they have this story that they have to tell in order to, like, I guess, solidify themselves in the faith. And like, this is how I came about. This is like, it was an altar call on this one Sunday, and the pastor had just passed out Oreo cookies, and I was just bawling, and I had to go up to and they were playing Amazing Grace at and I just had to go up, and everything was, just led by the Lord and the Holy Spirit. Well, he has now incorporated that into his testimony, basically, because, I mean, he sees his political journey as an extension of his religious, like, faith and all that other. I mean, he's been very explicit about that. I don't think I'm strawmanning him at all in this. Like, he sees this as an extension of bringing, God's kingdom to earth and all that other good stuff. So anyway, he's just really, I just realized, and by the way, I usually listen to my podcasts at like 1.5 speed. So everybody kind of sounds like chipmunks a little bit.
Don't do that here.
Yeah. Right. So, but I made I noticed in myself even saying, man, Burns really sounds like he's on point here. And I'm like, and I caught myself and I was like, oh yeah, I'm on 1.5 speed. Everybody sounds smarter on 1.5 speed. I promise you. Like,
Do that here.
right. So I made a point to slow him down to regular speed, and it just immediately sounds like he's drunk. So I was just like, oh, there he is. There he is.
All right. So if I have the choice of sounding like a chipmunk or sounding or sounding smart, chipmunk smart.
Right. Yeah. It's always in comparison to if you just like do that for like a minute and a half on anything you're listening to, and then just slow it down. Even people that you know are like brilliant people. It just takes you aback a little bit and takes you a second. That's what they did to Nancy Pelosi. Remember? And she was talking, and they slowed her down to like 0.75 speed, and they were like, Nancy's been hitting the sauce here on before going on. Anyway, so that's what it was.
I'm going to make a note of that. So we'll do our next one drunk, so that no one can pretend that we're drunk by slowing us down.
So just to belabor this point about him, and his narrative, he is very much a narrative humper. And like he draws strength from the narrative, and like really validity and all this other stuff, and like all this, and it in a conversation that we had after maybe last podcast or the second to last podcast, I think that I had like touched on this like train analogy, and you had pointed out that I didn't.
Choo choo, motherfucker! Let's do it.
You pointed out that I wasn't very clear, and I, upon listening again, I realized that I kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent, like the whole like free will thing. And you know what? Fuck off, people. I got ADHD, and sometimes you're gonna get that. This is the fucking product. If you don't like it, there's plenty of other shit to watch.
But watch us. We're smart chipmunks.
Both of you. But I wanted to try to clarify just a little bit, and I might end up making this a lot more fuzzy, but
I'll keep my mouth shut for this one.
No, it's fine. You're welcome to interject. I greatly appreciate any of your thoughts going into this. But and again, I don't feel like I'm straw manning him here, but I did need a bit of a way to kind of separate he and I. So I would say that he would say, "I am nothing without God." Would you agree with that?
I agree with half that sentence. He is nothing.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, all right. Well, he would say that.
Gotcha.
I would say that I am nothing, and I will kind of just explain that a little bit. So I need to I need to retake that viewpoint of the train again, and him basically with his testimony and his adding to that and regurgitating that and like repeating it over and over and over again. He is placing himself in that train that I spoke of earlier, in a certain car, and it gives that train a destination. It does. And so, and in this metaphor, the train allows him to also place himself within the community that he's like, broadcasting this message to. Does that make sense? Like, so he can say this thing. He has described himself, the train, metaphorically, and all the other people around him can then recognize, him as being part of this movement and can attach themselves to this train as well. So they can all they may have differing viewpoints as far as what what God is or what Jesus, all this other stuff like that, or what politics or republicanism is and all this other stuff. But they can at least kind of move along in the same narrative arc, which is like the rails for the train. You follow me still? Okay. You don't seem very enthused with that. Anyway, so it's just a bit of of like narrative building and things like that. So, but when I say something about when I tell you that I am nothing, that to me that's basically and I touched on this again, but that's a really basic concept in Buddhism that's basically like emptiness or interdependence. And I am not a Buddhist, neither am I a Christian, but I do take from many different traditions and just pluck out certain things that feel like common truth and just try and incorporate that into who I am, right? So so that being said, seeing emptiness and interdependence, that just kind of breaks down that necessity to be on the train and to take like to be, and then to be outside of that train and critique the train for what it is. The train being life and society, and basically the narrative that we're like kind of I guess pushing towards, or the end goal of that train or anything like that. And it really just gives me an opportunity to really kind of critique things and like see things from a different viewpoint, maybe even. And that's where a lot of like empathy may come into play. And I can, instead of seeing even somebody like Burns as pure evil and a destructive force within our community, and all this other stuff that kind of goes along with that, I can at least see from his perspective and try to at least like take his narrative on board for a short amount of time, if nothing else, but to combat it and try to dispel some of the stuff that he's kind of trying to win people over with. So do you have anything on that you would like to add?
In 2 more episodes, he's going to try that again.
Yep.
Hopefully, we pick something else other than a train.
Okay, I'm done with the fucking train. All right, I'm going to say this right now. Okay, so we're a yin and a yang. A little bit of evil, a little bit of good. That's not true. Okay, so I will just like end with this, and then we'll get on to other more interesting stuff. And this kind of like goes to our prerogative and our like kind of I guess overall mission. Well, my personal anyway, with Change from Monroe. Since I brought up the yin and the yang, a lot of people think that the yin and the yang is like there's a little bit of good and all evil, a little bit of evil and all good, right? Well, that's kind of true, but it's also the fact that like that circle is a continuum, and you can't have the black without the white without the black. They literally help define each other, right? And so to me, when we're talking about like having conversations with people we don't agree with and things like that, those people are not going anywhere. They literally, like, you can say, hey, if you don't like it, leave the country all you want, but they're fucking not, and neither are we. And I don't know that anybody really expects that, because there always just has to be this like push and pull, or this like fulcrum to like define yourself as. So if he is, well, I won't go into him anymore, but if I am, like if I see myself as like a certain thing, there's always that opposite that is not me. You see what I mean? And so when
Bizarro Stephen.
Exactly. Yeah. He's a cool motherfucker too, though. I mean, I got to be honest. But the point being is like, we're not going out to talk to people in order to necessarily like get rid of them. I just did finger quotes for anybody who's not like watching our screen. It's more or less to neutralize them. If I can make a conservative, let's just call him a Trump voter, if I can just like convince them in whatever way possible to just not vote, I don't need them to vote for us. I just need them to understand that their side's a piece of shit and doesn't deserve their support. And like, if it works, great. If not, oh well.
Well, I think, again, you're yin yang and Buddhist. The concept was really simple. We're just here to exist. You know what I mean? That's it. Folks. Oh well. I don't want to fucking talk to Burns. I don't want to talk to Michelle. They're fucking idiots. Whether you call them evil, they are a detriment to the city, but they're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They're not interesting to talk to. They're not fun. They're harbingers of stupidity. And so, the folks that I want to, folks that I'm trying to engage with most of the time are the 83% who don't care enough about these issues to come out and vote.
Yeah.
I want to try to get those folks. So when we go out into the city and we sit down at, a pub, and someone sees a Change for Monroe shirt, or a whole group of people kind of hanging out, cheersing and stuff like that, they become interested and they want to come over and hang out. And then we say, hey, do you want to come and help us build a ramp on Saturday or clean up litter? And they say, yeah, I'd love that. And then before you know it, they're not our enemy just because they're apathetic. They are now our friend, and they will not want to vote against the people that they usually don't vote for hurt.
Understood.
Ooh. I hate it when bad things happen to good sentences. So, yeah, the idea of like, I'm not out there trying to engage people and bring them over. I want to overpower them. I want to outnumber them.
Of course, yeah.
And that's it. I want them to run.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not trying to change any minds. I'm too old for that shit.
Right. Well, and it's just, honestly, it's a waste of time.
It's a
with
waste
certain
of
people.
time
Yeah.
until dear leader is no longer with us.
Right. So, anything in the headlines that so just so you guys know that Kevin has asked me nicely in his own way to work on my to work on my introductions to certain topics, and here I am being like, "Hey, Kevin, what about Cracker Barrel?"
So today's larger topic was going to be about corporate branding. And Stephen and I kind of we talk about like notes and things that we're going to talk about, but we don't know exactly what each person's going to say. So I briefly brought up, and I'm like, I'm kind of curious as to what made the new Cracker Barrel logo woke. Like, I was confused. To me, it was just corporate rebranding. And then Steven starts, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Save it for the show. And I'm like, don't ask me directly. Kevin, do you have a question about the crack? And, and he's like, no, I won't. I'm like, you are? He's like, no. And so, Kevin, is there anything in the... So, Steven.
Just so everybody knows, I do this shit just to get him.
He does every time. That, and I have a surprise for you this week.
Yeah.
All right, so... Yeah, the topic is corporate branding and why corporations actually rebrand. Is it woke? Is it a purity test? Is it performance? And honestly, we could save like 30 minutes with one word.
Yep.
Go ahead. Why do corporations rebrand?
Money.
The end.
Yep.
But we are going to elaborate because I do have that question as to what made that logo change a woke decision.
Right.
Or... is it just our mayor's a fucking stupid person?
Was that a question?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm going to say yes. Okay. I've got some really deep thoughts about Cracker Barrel, Kevin.
Ah, fuck. All right.
But it all comes down
Cracker
to...
Barrel logo is in a train.
Yeah. All right, we got to decide what train it's in. Is it in a passenger car? Is it in a caboose?
All the other logos are watching from the outside.
Is there a big gravy barrel, like a gravy tanker? Yeah. So, but it comes down to the corporatization and the commodification of literally everything that we do in America. And, most likely the world. And, just unfortunately, this is the fucking world we live in, and there's really not a whole lot that we can do to kind of get away from it. That's one reason why, the critique of, hey, you used an iPhone to critique capitalism, you dumb fuck. It's like, yeah, but it's literally the water we're swimming in, and so it's kind of hard not to use the system that we're in to critique the system that we're in. So, whatever. But this is a, kind of a bit of a double-edged sword because if you think about what Cracker Barrel obviously I guess represented to people, I don't fucking know. It's a goddamn restaurant, people. Yeah. And but I think that essentially what happened with the whole with the Cracker Barrel specifically is that they omitted the Uncle, what is his fucking name? Uncle Herb?
Uncle Cracker?
Uncle. There you go. Perfect. And that to me is an argument from about representation. They were no longer, their nostalgic feelings or their their sense of Americana was no longer being represented in that Cracker Barrel commercial, which is...
I've never seen a Cracker Barrel commercial.
Yeah.
Uncle Cracker.
Yeah.
But I guess, they rebranded. They got rid of Uncle Cracker.
Yep.
It was just 2 letters, and it's like, hey, this is our new logo.
Yep.
But then they said they made it woke.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I'm having with is did the C have a little, did they turn that into the male, female insignia?
Right. Yeah, no. But okay, so
what made that woke?
Because, okay, and again, because of, good branding at this point, everything is either woke or anti-woke. And so because the label, the logo, whatever, was no longer anti-woke, it then, because of the yin and yang, had to now become woke. So that right there, my friends, is a fucking callback. And don't tell me I'm not a professional at this shit. Fuck you, Jonathan. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Boom. Anyway, so
No.
Yeah, yeah,
Because your answer is correct.
yeah.
But what made it woke? A corporation changed a brand that I did not see as woke or
Yeah.
anti-woke,
Okay.
and they made it another thing which is not woke or anti-woke. And all the idiots on the interwebs, talking to you, Mayor, are all of a sudden like, they changed the logo, it's woke now. And
Yeah.
I specifically do not see how this was a woke thing. So I ask again, using different words, was it woke and not woke? Am I missing something? Or is the mayor a fucking idiot screaming at his base again, who are a whole bunch of fucking idiots?
Oh no, that is it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's virtue signaling.
All right.
I mean, like basically.
Because I can tell you right now, I was not standing in front of Cracker Barrel 3 weekends ago saying, change the logo.
Right, yeah.
Change.
Nobody gave
I
a
mean,
shit.
nobody
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fucking doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Same thing with all the other shit that they complain about. Nobody was complaining about
And
that shit.
was anybody complaining about Aunt Jemima?
Aunt Jemima, Uncle
don't-
Ben.
I don't recall like a lot of people like again standing outside of like rice factories saying,
These were-
get rid of Uncle Ben.
These were
Yeah.
decisions
Yeah.
based on
Money.
I mean, we need that. We need you. No.
What?
No,
Oh.
we need that to be a button. So you
Oh.
money.
Oh no, it would
You know.
definitely be Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Money.
No,
Oh.
the way you say it.
Okay,
Money.
gotcha. Money.
So, the idea is that these corporations change the brands. It has nothing to do with politics and it has nothing to do with ideologies.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the things that I saw, and I don't know if you brought this up, and if you did, then I get to steal it because I brought it up first here. But
We share ideas.
we looked at, the McDonald's from 30 years ago. Big red building, had the yellow thing, or the white or yellow things coming down the top of the roof. It looked like a barn.
Yep.
And now drive past a McDonald's.
Yep.
And it's a big gray square building.
Yep.
And you know why this is, right?
Oh, of course I do.
Then go for it. Did I hear
It's-
this from you, by the way?
Oh, probably not. Yeah,
Okay.
no. But I mean, I have an idea of like, what you're going to say. But I mean, it's like, one, it comes down to, like I said, fucking money, because that building is cheaper to build, right? And that's really what they want to do. Not only that, but they want to appeal to a large swath of people. And like they've got, so what these corporate lizard people do is they figure out the most
Boring.
boring corporatized emblem that they can possibly do in order to appeal to as many people as possible and not alienate as many people as possible. One of the things that really kind of surprised me lately was and I don't want to jump off on a giant tangent here or anything like that, but one of the things that kind of surprised me lately was the obvious like white nationalist dog whistles coming from like the American Gene Company. Like that was, obviously they were making a corporate decision to appeal to a certain demographic of people, and to me that's just shameless money grabbing in my opinion. But again, like for the most part, a lot of these restaurants who don't necessarily they want everyone literally to come in and just buy their fucking tacos no matter who they are, because they don't give a shit about stuff like that. They just
McDonald's tacos.
yeah, right. So
All right, but I'm going to take it one step further, though,
Yeah.
because it's more than just being bland and appealing. For example, if anyone out there is a fan of Community, I know at least one of our two watchers are, there is an episode where there's an app where you can rank people based on interactions.
oh, that's a Black Mirror episode too, I believe. Oh,
Anyway, it's in
yeah.
in my world, it's meow meow beans. And so, when you walk in and then, the woman says to Shirley, she's like, oh, your outfit looks nice. She's like, did you hear that? Becky thinks my outfit was nice.
Boom.
And then it's her rating drops. And you look around and all of a sudden you see all these people wearing beige and gray because they didn't want to offend in either direction. So they're
Right.
just kind of... But it actually goes much further than just customer appeal, is that the corporations who own McDonald's, for example, actually own the land under
yes,
it.
of course. Yeah.
So basically, when that McDonald's fails and they want to sell it to someone else, they want to have a marketable building that can be turned into anything.
Yeah.
And if you have, the big red roof, you drive past the one that's up in Matthews there.
Mm-hmm.
You drive past it. When we first moved here, that was like my hint to that I'm supposed to get over into the middle lane because that is a right turn only lane.
Right.
As soon as I saw that McDonald's building,
Yeah.
and it's never been a McDonald's as long as I've lived here. But I always say, oh, McDonald's building, got to move over.
Yeah.
And so now I think it, like they do taxes or something, but you still
Yeah, right.
or maybe it's a Pizza Hut.
Maybe, yeah.
But either way,
But it's it really just goes back to the fact that they like you
money.
said, they want to be able to rent that place. And I'm almost positive like McDonald's is like one of the, other than like the Catholic Church, I believe McDonald's is like one of the
Number one, it's one of the top landowners in America,
which is just
I
amazing
think it's
to
like
me.
Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
China, McDonald's. Well, don't fact check that before you go and talk to your friends
please
about
do.
that.
So,
But
and if for anybody out there, by the way, this is another like little tangent of mine. For anybody out there who's never read the book Space Merchants, if you don't have a copy, I'll lend you mine. It is so great. It's almost like 1984-esque, and I won't go too much into the plot other than to say there's a specific point in the book where they're talking about the senator from Walmart having a discussion, with the governor from like the other Amazon or something like that. Because I think they even like have updated those particular references so that it is more contemporary. But it's like, to me, like if you want to talk about conspiracy theories and things like that, that is my biggest fucking fear. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's just like corporate owning of pretty much everything that we do in the world. And again, going back to the Cracker Barrel thing. What really kind of the thing that really strikes me in all this conversation and stuff like that is the fact that like corporate America has now become the last reservoir of like American culture, because America there's a certain for the longest time. They conservatives like branded themselves as like the patriots and all this other stuff, and it was honestly just so they could sell you more like American flag T-shirts and stuff like. It's really like the corporatization of America itself has just. I mean, it's just disgusting and to me, and that we've now made America itself a commodity, and it's it's for sale. I don't know where the sign is right now, but Monroe for sale, basically. America itself, the emblem of Monroe, all the icons of, or not Monroe, sorry, America, but all the icons of America are now just basically just like, not only their virtue signaling that you can wear on your head or your hat, but it's literally just like marketing, and not very good marketing in my opinion. And it's like, to me, every time I've like tried to start some sort of like business or something like that, it always like anytime it's been basically like, hobbies that I've liked, that I've done, that I'm like, hey, I would probably like to spend more time of my time doing this. And if I'm going to do that, I may as well make money. Somewhere down the line, I'm like, this is fucking gross. And I just can't help but feel the stickiness of like, again, not bashing capitalism all the time, but I mean, it just I can't help but feel the ooze of capitalism and commodification, like just dripping all over every fucking lettuce head that I harvest, or like every time I like drive a nail out here or something like that. I just anyway, it's just me being in my own head too much probably, but still.
So on that happy note, we're going to do a great segue into speaking of Burns and the almighty dollar that he worships. We have two interesting notes. The first is kind of a callback to last week when we spoke to Dottie Nash. Dottie Nash, I've much like his train. So far, we got planes and trains. So we just need to talk about automobiles one of these days. I'm obsessed with
Automobiles suck nowadays too, by the way, because of corporatism. They're all white and gray. Fuck those things.
There you go. So
We did it.
we beat all the corporations just with that one sentence. So the idea, though, that the airport is not the moneymaker that it supposedly is according to the mayor. I'm looking into that.
He called it number 2 in the state.
Number 2 in the state, which we're right outside of Charlotte. That math may check out in the end.
Maybe.
But it may be like Charlotte Airport's making like $3 billion and we're making 30,000 and the one out in Greenville's making 10. I just want to know the numbers.
Do you really think the one in Concord's not making more money than we are, though?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
So that's why I do have a request for some of the data on that. The gentleman who helped me at the city was very kind last time. I don't know if he will be as kind this time, but we'll find out. So I'm looking into the numbers. But so Dottie brought up something, and it made me go in, and we checked the mayor's financial reports. And if I do this right here, you're going to see the mayor's list of donors, and right at the top is a gentleman who has aviation as his primary job. And I'm wondering if, since he lives in Union County, that aviation job is at the airport.
I mean, very well could be. I mean, or it's got some sort of stake. in,
Pretty good odds on that.
Yeah.
So we will have that in the final cut there. You'll see that pop up here. And anytime you want, if you go to the Union County Board of Elections, you can look up the financial reports of everyone running for office at any time. So please stay on top of that. But that is what I have to say about the airport. Anything about the airport?
Planes go vroom.
Planes go vroom. You heard it here first.
Yep.
But the next part of the mayor is a money-grubbing tick. This is so funny. So he's speaking at an event coming up. He's, and he always touts himself. He's traveling all over the state, folks.
He's North Carolina's mayor.
He's not North. I think he took that down because
Did he really? Fuck.
I don't know if it's still there, but oh my
Easy
God.
for even him.
So we're sitting there, and I kind of want to start a pool, but with only us two and our 2 listeners, it's not going to be a lot of money. What is he actually going to run for? Because he is going to file for something in December. He can get knocked out in the primary in March, and then he can still file for mayor next summer if he wants to, and then get knocked out in that primary. Fuck you, sucker.
This is me with my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
That's not a. Yeah.
Oh no, mine was middle finger all the
Okay,
way.
there you
Yeah. No, fuck you, dude. You were so toast in the primary.
I got to tell you, this is that particular subject I want so bad to talk about, but we really can't.
We're not going to talk about that yet.
Not going to do it.
But we are going to say that luckily enough folks that the mayor hangs out with that are kind of sick of his shit actually have a viable option now. They can have a reasonable, decent voice that's actually going to improve Monroe.
Yeah.
Instead of having to deal with all the mayors traveling around the state, putting on these dog and pony. No, I like dogs and ponies. Putting on these, I don't know, badger and unicorn shows or some
badgers
shit.
Are fucking good. No, why did you get that? No, badgers and unicorns are fucking awesome too. We don't want to do that. Let's do
Ticks and spiders.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Intestinal fluke.
So anyway, while the mayor's traveling around the
Mosquitoes.
state, putting on all these shows,
Yeah, fuck those guys.
this one really came up that cracked us up, is that he's got this faith and leadership thing coming up, and I think like Christy Nome is like the guest speaker. Speaking of hating dogs, so Christy Nome is there. Well, we noticed that Burns is one of the speakers, but he's also a fucking sponsor. So like
Yeah.
he's paying
Yeah.
for them to let him talk. He touts himself as North Carolina's mayor, and everyone wants to hear the diarrhea spew from his mouth. And it turns out that he's actually like having to pay to be heard. And I brought this up in one of my conversations, probably online, is that when I was in the political realm, within the and we were reaching out to folks, and we were like, oh, well, wouldn't it be great? And I'll say her name now, but it was like Stacey Abrams, like, wouldn't it be great to have Stacey Abrams come up and like get the troops revved up before an election and stuff yeah, it'd be great. Let's reach out. $200,000.
Oh.
So, and by the way, that's not how much she was going to give us to pay to talk. That's how much we had to pay her.
Oh no, yeah, of course. Yeah,
No. I want to clear this up because I don't want the mayor to think like, oh wow, she was willing to give them $200,000. I'm getting off light. No, we were going to have to pay her something in the neighborhood of like $200,000. So yeah, mayor, if you have to pay people to listen to you speak, maybe it's time to hang up the old, I don't know, cock ring. Like, find something else to do, but just find something else to do, man. Like,
I was thinking like mayor shoes. But
yeah, but
okay.
you were also stuck on train for a long time earlier, so.
Yeah. I like trains. I need that one too, by the way.
All right, so the final thing, and no, we're still talking about this. Go ahead. What you got?
Are you the mayor issue as far as him speaking and everything like that? Is that
As far as like him speaking, him not speaking in Monroe, him not working on the issues in Monroe.
Sure. Yeah.
And traveling to pay people to let him speak.
Yeah. I mean, to me, this kind of goes back to the whole like corporate branding thing. This guy is on a branding mission, and I mean,
so what's he running for?
I mean, he can say mayor all he wants to, but even if he does decide to run for mayor again, we all know that he's going to be shooting for a higher office at some point. I mean, this guy's career at this point is going to be politician until somebody tells him no, go the fuck away. And
mayoral primary 2026.
Yeah. And again, that is if we want to just like put put a flagpole down on that. Obviously that is what Monroe's goal should be, is to make this motherfucker go away.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, that has been our goal.
Yeah. No, I mean, as far as like obviously Change for Monroe is set out to do that, but I mean, Monroe itself could literally define itself as in its defiance to, in my opinion, tyrants, because it is unmistakable that the Trump administration at this point is like nakedly authoritarian. And you can say,
I'm sorry, you said Trump, you meant Burns.
No, but I'm talking about the Trump administration is, and this guy sees himself as a Trump acolyte.
Well, Trump hasn't tried to shut down restaurants and tell me where I can and cannot go eat.
I mean, but he's also...
Trump hasn't told me how to cut my hair or not to polish my nails. That is Mayor Burns.
No, I get you on that, but I'm just saying, point being is that these people have one cookie cutter. And if you don't fit outside of that cookie cutter, you're going to get some fucking limbs cut off. And or if you do fit outside of that cookie cutter, you're going to get some limbs cut off. And that's the problem. Again, when I talk about like the corporatization of basically everything, that goes right down to these people, because they are the ones who are. And again, I don't want to make everything some sort of like critique against capitalism, because honestly, like, I just don't give a fuck. Like capitalism, socialism, honestly, I don't think that that's a dichotomy, so to speak. But the people who try to make it a dichotomy have a fucking agenda.
Nothing is 100% anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
America isn't capitalistic. It's not socialistic. It's a combination of all these things.
I mean, these people are like, over the years, Marx and who am I thinking of? Not the. Anyway, it'll come to me. The guy who like basically described capitalism in the very beginning. Invisible Hand, all this other stuff.
No, you're the smart guy.
Anyway, it'll come to me at some point when we're not recording anymore. They were basically just describing ways to be in an economic system, or ways to be in society, how this stuff structures up. Obviously, you can turn the theoretical dials any way you want to kind of like get these societal outcomes and stuff like that. And if you really want to like dial up the authoritarianism, there are certain consequences that come along with that. And that is, freedom. First off, I mean, anytime that you dial the freedom dial down for somebody else, you're doing it for yourself too. Right now, and this is a perfect example. Right now, our southern border has a wall that keeps out immigrants, right?
No.
Well, no, I'm sure it doesn't, but that's the purpose.
It does not.
But what else does the fucking wall do, right? The fucking wall keeps people in, and it mars the fucking landscape and all this other shit. Authoritarianism is fucking ugly. Just like that big fucking wall that they're painting black right now. Authoritarianism is fucking ugly. Freedom is fucking beautiful. And so it's just, to me, it's like these people are really, they are trying to make people conform to a certain idea of what an American is, or a family is, or what faith is, or all this other shit. But they just have no ability to allow other people outside of that. So, did I answer your question, sir?
No, but that's all right. We've covered that again.
We did.
Yeah. So there you go. Burns. Fuck you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
The final thing that I got anyway. You got something else?
No, we're
Okay.
gonna do this.
All right. The
Segue.
segue.
Yep.
Speaking of Frederick Douglass. So the Frederick Douglass Foundation came into Union County.
Yep.
And I hosted, the Union County Republican Party hosted them.
Okay.
And yes, that is the exact reaction you should have.
Yep.
So just a cursory background. Everyone should, I hope, at least history nerds like myself, we latch on to someone, we read a story, and we're like, fuck, I want to learn more about that dude. Mm-hmm. And my guy was Frederick Douglass.
Oh, good.
So for like the last 2 years of high school, like any time that, the teacher was like, write about whatever you want, I would grab that biography and go to town. And so
Mine was about Transformers.
we went to different schools. So the Frederick Douglass Foundation. So I went and said, wow, the Frederick Douglass Foundation, this is so weird. For those of you who don't know, Frederick Douglass was an escaped slave who made his way north and actually met with President Lincoln on several occasions to talk about the war and how to improve the lives of black people.
Free people, yeah.
Well, no, one of the first conversations was actually, what do we do if the North loses this war?
Okay.
And Frederick Douglass said, please, for the love of God, put up monuments to all the losers.
Right.
So that everyone learns the history.
Yeah.
I am just fucking with you. Nobody learns history from a statue. You fucking potatoes.
More representation and branding.
So, when so it's fascinating. So I've always been fascinated by this story. Escaped slave, marries, he becomes famous in his own right. He's a newspaper publisher, speaker, orator, and somewhat kind of advisor to President Lincoln. Some even speculate, as I do, that he was behind the Emancipation Proclamation. He was I believe, the first person who said to Lincoln, why do the slaves in the South want you to win if they're not going to be free? And so he was like, well, that's a very good point. So rather than wait for the war to be over and he made the Emancipation. It's just a theory.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Just like, not to interrupt, but Karl Marx and he were also pen pals, like of sorts. They wrote letters back and forth, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's what a pen pal is.
Yeah. Was it Marx?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Anyway,
So,
speak and I'll
So Frederick Douglass was a progressive man fighting for the freedom for fellow black people in America, and an escaped slave. And later on in life, he was also fighting for the women's right to vote.
right.
And there came a time where he kind of had to be like, okay, if we get the right to vote for black people and we secure that, then we can work on women. And that kind of pissed off the suffragettes a little bit. But he was part of that team for a while as well. He created a school while he was still a slave to teach people how to read and write.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sure.
So the Republican Party right now, their big push, the conservatives in Washington, is to eliminate the Department of Education.
Sure.
I don't think Frederick Douglass would be on the side of that.
No, he actually equated it to the ultimate, like that's the gateway to freedom, basically.
Is education.
Yeah. I remember that much.
He craved freedom from slavery.
Yeah,
That's also something that the conservatives would look down upon. Currently, if you didn't know, the Smithsonian was recently attacked by the current administration for focusing on how bad slavery was. And I've only ever seen it written. I've never actually heard the word PragerU. PragerU, which is now going to take over for PBS, wants you to know that most slaves had fun.
Help us, Jeebus.
Yeah. So, I go and look at the Frederick Douglass Foundation, and it's completely a misnomer. Absolutely, completely misnomer. It's a bunch of conservatives that do not believe what Frederick Douglass believed. And this is a horrible, horrible opportunity for our white nationalist, conservative leadership to cozy up to people who look different from them and say, see, I'm not racist.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
And
this is what they do with MLK. Even some of them do with Malcolm X. I mean, goodness gracious, like what a fucking weird, mixture that is. But every time MLK Day comes around, they want to talk about we should see each other for our insides and not what's on the outside. But then also won't quote the passages of Douglass and MLK when they talked about universalizing certain amenities that we all enjoy. Now that can lead to universal health care or public schooling, any of that other stuff like that. But anything that goes towards the mass of people, these people call socialism. So
I don't know, Christian nationalist cherry picking something.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like them. I would like to also mention that when Frederick Douglass made it up to New York City was not a safe place to escape. There were still slave masters, slave holders that were going up there trying to find the slaves.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I didn't think about it. Yeah,
That's
gotcha.
a very populous area. You think you blend in, but they're also easy to find. But there were always bounties. So you had white and black citizens turning in runaway, freedom-seeking slaves.
Another product of authoritarianism.
And so that's what, when you sit here and you look at the Frederick Douglass Foundation, and you're like, oh, you would have been the black people in New York City turning in the escaped slaves. It's not, it's really sad. I thought that we had another advocacy group that was going for equal rights, and they were actually not. They were just the opposite.
Yeah. John Smith, by the way. How did I forget Smith, the capitalist guy? Just to bring that back, squirrel.
Oh, yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, it just dawned on me that I needed to clear that up, because for our two listeners. Yeah.
Well, if you say John Smith really clearly now, I can edit it over the other part.
John Smith. Should I say it sexier?
I don't think you could. That was as sexy as it gets.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead. Cleaning us up. What you got?
Okay. So this is kind of going back to a little bit of our overall mission, which is I've just got written down here, Facebook warriors versus being in the city. That's not a very good description of what I'm trying to get at, but it is it's just a phenomenon that I like to kind of describe nowadays. And I'm going to completely fuck up this metaphor. It's not going to work all that great. And I'm going to
choo-choo, motherfucker. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just going to have that on a button too. Choo-choo, motherfucker. Anyway, Facebook warriors versus being in the city. We have to come out from behind our keyboards and be in the city. We have to, because again, that's what a lot of these people are. They're, he's trying to create this conservative stronghold in Monroe, so to speak, and he's not doing that, just by being behind his computer screen. They're going out into the public. They're being seen. They're being visible. We have to do that same thing. A little bit of this is where I'm kind of getting to as far as the contradiction and all this other stuff. I enjoy certain political influencers, right? And when I use the term influencers almost pejoratively there, because it is a career now to say certain things online, gain a following, and make a living off of that, right? I mean, that's a valid way to kind of support yourself, and at the same time, I guess, kind of get your point across, or get your message out and things like that. While that's a commendable thing to kind of get your message out, what really kind of frustrates me is the fact that we have a lot of really smart people nowadays who are spending a lot of time creating content And again, content to me is like a pejorative word at this point because it's just like we are a consumer, society, and that's just another thing for us to do. It's just like commodify this like feeling of like revolution or all this other stuff like that. So we're literally commodifying the revolution. But anyway, these smart people like craft these messages, put them out, and they like jabber back and forth with each other, making these split screen videos where they're kind of going back and forth. But the one thing that none of these people really do, save maybe like, I don't know, maybe one or two, is they don't fucking run for office. They don't go out and occupy these fucking offices that a lot of these, let's just fucking weirdos and assholes are doing. So we have people, that show up to our fucking city council meeting and just waste everybody's fucking time with an issue that has long been resolved. And these people are probably going to end up running for office or something like that. But at least, again, I just need people to recognize, or I would say I would like people to recognize the severity of or the, just the situation that we're in. And like I just honestly just feel like we're kind of on a bit of a precipice right now. And I would like for a lot of these smart people who are putting all this great content out to put that in action and actually go out and like, again, occupy some fucking offices, do the hard work that it takes to like, to move our society and our culture along, even if it's a small office in a small city somewhere or a small town. That all of that stuff, it just culminates. And so that being said, one of the things that I'm trying to do, and this is where a lot of my contradictions come into, by the way, too. So some of these influencers and some of these like really important voices out there that I really like, I have like taken it upon myself to like start regularly donating to. Here lately, I've become a little bit more financially stable. I'm, obviously not rolling any kind of money or anything like that. And these like small contributions, I'm talking like $5 to maybe $10 a month, they add up. And they do kind of like cut into my budget a little bit as far as like, just household things. But I really believe in the messages that a lot of these people are doing. And the one thing that I would leave you guys with, whoever's watching, the two people that are doing this, and this is not a ploy for you to give us money, but it is a ploy for you to like put yourself, I hate the term skin in the game, but like give money to people. Give time to people. Give yourself to the society that you would like to see. So like, I can think of a couple local content creators or like just, people out there trying to do good work that you could possibly give money to or just like try and find out how to support better. But we have to be more proactive as far as getting this message out because they are absolutely doing it. And this is not a left or right thing. This is to me anyway, this is lovers of freedom against authoritarians in my point. So, when I criticize people on the right, I am more talking about people on the far right. Because I have friends of mine who are Republicans who have probably voted Republican all their life that I don't agree with on a lot of stuff, but are against this push that we see in our country right now. So I just encourage everybody to find your sages, find the people that you value, and make sure that they feel that value, tangibly with your, literally with your money.
Oh, I thought you were going to say penis.
There it is. No, of course not.
Oh, that's why we don't finish each other's
sandwiches?
sentences.
Oh, shit. Damn it. You almost had it.
Yep.
So anyway, anything you want to close with?
Nope. We're still trucking along, still trying to get the name out there, get ourselves out there into the community, and show people that they're outnumbered. The mayor goes downtown, he sees a whole bunch of friends hanging out, and we're all squirreled away. Well, I'm trying to make him feel uncomfortable about walking into some of these places.
Yeah, that would be nice. So,
I guess I have to say toodaloo, kangaroo, because you have something else.
Leave the room, raccoon.
Don't mind if I do.
Thanks, guys.
I was saying balloons.